All right, guys, we got ourselves a beauty here. I love these old Hondas. Super reliable, easy to work on, parts are everywhere. Very desirable to resell, fun to drive. There's just really nothing bad to say about them. Just to give you a walk around on this one, we have a bit of damage here that we're going to take care of. Overall, this car is really clean, actually. A little rust spot there, which we're going to take care of. A bit of a scuff there, actually. I didn't see that as much when I was looking at it, but still not a big deal. We'll take care of that. Scuffs here, so we're going to do some polishing, and then I don't know how well you can pick this up on camera, but there's a bit of a dent on the hood. Not too sure if I'm going to do anything about that. So overall, pretty clean car. Actually does have a bit of scuffs and nicks and stuff. That'll be the main thing that we're going to do with this project, and then I'll show you. We're going to do a cold start, possibly bad start already. Let's see if our battery battery's completely dead. So I wonder if I left a light on, or yeah, stand by. I'm gonna get my jumper pack, see what's going on here. All right, take two. We have my Range Rover jumping us here, and we have power now, so let's see how she starts. Pretty good once you have power. So we have this thing in my garage, set up, ready to go. I have challenged myself to change, I'll tell you what we're gonna change in a second here. I challenged myself to change the part we're gonna change in a second using the hand tools in my garage. I have all my nice power tools at the shop, but this car needed so little work, I decided to do it here in the garage. The way I like to do these cars is I do it in order from largest repair to smallest. The largest repair that we're doing is the rear shocks. The previous owner had this thing inspected, and apparently that's the only thing it needed. Apparently the rear shocks were blown out. I jumped under there and they looked really wet. So I have a set of shocks right here. So we're gonna install that in a sec. And then just to show you the battery, whenever that happens, I guess with a new car, I'm always worried. I'm like, oh, does it have a power draw? Like, what's going on? But this battery is first month of 2020. So this battery is like coming up on 6 years old. So I'm gonna see if I can save it with a nice long slow charge here. If not, I'll get a new battery. And then next on our list of priorities will be cosmetics, because that will take us the most amount of time. So I'm gonna show you how I polish up, clean up all these scuffs, scratches. There's one little spot of rust, but honestly, looking at it close, I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. I'll show you a little trick to clean it up, but I don't think it's worth my time to sand that down and clean that up. And then we're just detailing the interior, and then this thing should be ready to list. All right, well, I see my first problem here with my little challenge without using power tools. The lugs are freaking seized on there. I can't get them off with the tire iron. So I'm gonna cave in and wait. I'm going to the shop tomorrow, so I'll get my impact and a breaker bar and proper tools to do this. So we'll do what we can do now, which is touch up these scuffs. I do have the supplies for that. Okay, so I'm gonna tackle the biggest scuff first. And this actually looked worse than it was just because it had all this mud and crap on it. So first I'm gonna clean off the mud. So yeah, most of that just wiped off. And then next, what I'm going to do, looks like someone hit something pretty good there actually. So this stuff here, this is not damaged into the paint. So that will, I have 1500 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna wet sand just to get this off. And I'm gonna wet sand this scratch and this little rust mark. And what they'll do is whatever stuff that I can, whatever like little bits of this scratch I can clean up with wet sanding, it will. And I'll kind of knock down the high spots and clean this up for touching up. So like I said, first clean off area, do some wet sanding here. I even like to use a little SOS pad here to scrub out any surface rust on this mark here. Back to the 1500 grit to sand out the SOS marks. So now I have a polisher. Yeah, it looks like I got some good sand marks in there. Got to be careful you don't have stuff in your sandpaper. But yeah, so now I have a polisher. I'm just using, I don't know, a coarser pad, and I have just Sonax all-in-one polish. And I'm gonna polish all of these wet sanding marks out now. That polished up pretty good. I like that little trick. Even already that looks much better just with the wet sand and polish. So since I'm doing touch-ups here, I just found some silver paint at my shop. Not the best match. I think it will do though. We shall see. So just spray some in the cap here. And then I get these touch-up Q-tip things specific for bodywork. So they're really small, like literally Q-tips. And then you saturate this touch-up tip, and then you can fill in, kind of fill in the area you're trying to touch up precisely. I think there's a change of plans. I don't like that silver paint. It's going to be too dark. And it's going to take too many coats, so I'm just going to wet sand it, clean it up again. I'm going to try again with primer. I think it's a bit closer of a match. It should go on the metal easier, and then I'll show you at the end like what the goal of this repair is. I guess I'll tell you now. It's not to match the paint perfectly. I just want to make it less noticeable, just presentable. You know, it's an old 20-year-old car. Just make it presentable when someone walks by so they don't see this big ugly dark spot looking at them. Instead, they see a blended in gray spot. Yeah, I can tell already that's going to be much better. So for this little rust spot, I was telling you guys I'd show the trick. I already showed you earlier, so I just use the SOS. So just spray it and then use the SOS. I just wipe the rust color off the paint. Again, this isn't a big enough spot for me to spend some time and sand down. Just kind of clean it up, get the color off the paint so it's not noticeable. It's like not the first thing you see if you're to look at this corner on the car. So next thing for the cosmetics, I'm gonna go around, I don't even know how much you guys can pick that up on camera, a little bit there. So if I see any little scuffs or scratches, I'm just gonna go around with that 1500, just wet sand any little bit, anything that may be noticeable. So here we have some scratches. You guys can't see it all with that light. Here, for example, we have quite a bit of scratching on the bumper. So again, I'm just going to wet sand that, and I'm going to do that trick that actually worked pretty well with that primer. Just fill in the black spot there. Yeah, a little scuff here, so I'll do the exact same thing. Just sand, fill in the exposed metal with primer. Here, a couple little spots, whatever. So yeah, and then our rear bumper is the big one. So I'll show you guys once this is done again. I'm going to do the exact same process. Wet sand, polish, fill in with primer. All right, guys, I think I would make my brother, who is a paintless dent removal technician, proud. I was just playing around with this setup here to see if I could pop this dent off camera. And I stuck a pry bar in here and just kind of got behind the sharpest point of that dent and just kind of, you know, jimmied it around, and I heard it pop, and I popped most of the dent out there actually. So that is not bad at all. Originally, I was going to advertise this like, you know, only body damage is dent on hood, but I think that's fixed enough where that's just considered normal wear and tear. That was a nice little fix. Overall, like I said, this thing was really clean. It really didn't need much work, just some cleaning up. So last step here before I change the suspension is I'm just cleaning the inside, and same story. It's really not that bad, just quick vacuum. Wipe the panels down. I like to use this Mother's dash protectant stuff. I put that on the dash. It gives it a nice sheen. And then afterwards I have this Chemical Guys new car smell. It gives it a really nice kind of fresh smell in there. I caved. We're here at the shop. I even just after having troubles getting that tire off, I just did not want to do that at home on jack stands. Why would I when I have a lift at the shop? I had to come out to the shop today anyway, but we have this thing on the lift now, and we can see just how freaking clean it is. Like, there's no oil collection at all. Like nothing coming from the rear main there, nothing coming from the oil pan. I just double checked because these Hondas have that cracked block. So I just checked the back, make sure it's not cracked. The exhaust is good. Even like the back of the pinch welds here, there's like no rust starting at the seams. Like this is one clean car. Just to show you. So I was looking at this shock. I'm like, that's not too bad. When I was having troubles getting the tire off, if the other shock looked like this, I probably would have just left it. But the other shock is like actively blown out. You can see all the fluid there. So then that's when I decided to bring it to the shop. So let's lower this thing down, see how the gun does, my impact does, get the tire off, and then get these shocks changed. Let's see if our wheel lugs want to cooperate with the impact here. Oh, awesome. I love this tool. Yeah, they're coming loose. Okay. Already worth it coming to the shop. So I'll get this wheel zipped off. So next we're zipping the lower shock bolt off here. Threading this nut off of the top of the shock here. I have the new shock in here. Everything's nice and tight. It's not making noise. So now I'm just gonna rinse and repeat on the other side. Look at this. This thing cleaned up well. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Again, it's pretty clean to start with, but even just like my little touch-ups, my sanding and polishing on the bumper, and that little, like you can see the little specks of gray, but like I said, that's hardly noticeable when you're walking by the car. One last thing I'm going to do off camera, which is fine, I'm still gonna list it as is this visor is broken. Seems to be a pretty common problem because I found it on like Amazon for 35 bucks, so I'm gonna order that, but that's not gonna stop me from listing it. Yeah, no, it turned out really good. Like tires are only 1 or 2 years old, brakes have been replaced, rear shocks, definitely handles better. No noise going over bumps now. This is pretty much the main damage of the car, so I'll just take a photo of that to disclose it to when someone texts me. But other than that, it turned out really well, guys. Like, I knew this car had potential when I saw it. Same thing with that damage there. I'll disclose that, but whatever. Like for a 20-year-old Honda, you won't find one in better shape. So with that being said, I think I'm going to shoot for the moon on this one. Shoot for the stars. I originally was going to ask 5,800, but I think I'm going to list her for 65. So I will catch up with you when it sells and we'll go over the numbers. The car has sold. That one was actually kind of interesting. A little bit, took a little bit longer. Didn't get as much as I was expecting. You know, maybe that's just the market. We're kind of thinking that the manual transmission didn't help with the sale. In my experience, I find it doesn't make a huge difference, but that's probably why I didn't get as much as what I wanted for and it didn't sell as quick. So I definitely got a little excited when I was in the walk around video there, listing it for 6,500. Had a couple inquiries here and there, but usually my rule is I'll list it, I'll start high, and if it doesn't sell within 7 days, I'll drop it $500. Doesn't sell within 7 days, drop $500. So yeah, I think I dropped it to, well, I went, because I had so much room on it, went from 65 straight to 54. Had lots of people interested, had a deposit on it. That guy fell through, so I was just getting kind of tired. I had it for 2 weeks at that point, so I dropped it down to 4,900, and then I had lots of people interested, and I think I sold it within like 3-4 days for 4,700. So we will go over our costs here. The initial purchase was 2,300, and then admin fees, like I took an Uber to go pick up the car, put gas in the car, pull the Carfax on it, taxes, fees, all that stuff was 130 bucks. Those rear shocks was $90. That visor I was talking about in the video, 35 bucks. Battery was dead from sitting. I couldn't charge it or save it, so I just bought a new battery for 105. So that put my total cost at $2,660. I ended up selling it for 4,700, so then that gave me a profit of $2,240, so 2,200 to be flat. So not too bad. Pretty happy with that one. It's mainly just cosmetics and cleaning up, and then the mechanical work I had to do, well, not quotations, the shocks is mechanical and the sun visor, replace that. So it was a good flip overall. Yeah, if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and then especially if you could do me a favor to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers at the end of this summer, so August 2026, and I'll let you know right now that I took the profit from this car and just rolled into the next one. So look forward to that one. Thanks, guys.